Hello guys. It's been cold. It's just been a bit cold again. It's been sometimes gloomy, but sometimes we've had some beautiful sunshine, but it's very cold and crisp. So yeah, the whole excited about spring florals thing really didn't last very long until I was back into cold weather perfumes again. I've got so much to talk about this week that I really need to start barreling through. So let's just go straight in with this one. This is a really good option. This is Keep It Fluffy from Lush. This is a really good option for when I want to wear something that's kind of floral but feels strong enough and thick enough to be worn in cold weather, because Keep It Fluffy is what I would describe as like a tangy floral. It's got ylang ylang, musk, rose, vanilla, jasmine and orris root in it. So this I think is predominantly ylang ylang in terms of the florals, but there's a really jammy rose. It does smell quite jammy and tangy, this perfume. It doesn't list here any citruses, but I feel sure that there's probably some kind of citrus in this perfume. You get that vanilla when it dries down, you get a bit of jasmine, you get a bit of the irisy orris root, a bit of rose, but it's kind of ylang with that kind of rose jammy feel in the background, and it's the closest I can get to that rose jammy smell, because Lush rose jam for some reason just really doesn't work for me. This has such a joyous, sunshiny, happy, tangy floral smell to it. I love it. It's got a slight classic feel about this perfume. I'd say it's not ambery the way that like Tocard and Cashmere are, but I kind of think about it and like Poème and Classique and things like that. I think of it in that kind of realm, but then also think of it as a tangy floral. I wore a couple of tangy florals actually, maybe like 3 tangy florals this week. So I was still trying to get some floral in there, even though it was pretty cold. But yeah, I love Keep It Fluffy from Lush. I really wish I had a lid for this one. It gets on my nerves that I don't, but I haven't got any spares at the moment. So anyway, let's see. Okay, let's talk about this one, because this is a declutter. This is one that I bought, and I said when I did the haul that I liked it, but I wasn't sure if it was me, and I wore it and it's definitely not me. So this is Miss Cassandra from Jeanne Arthes. This is a dupe for Christian Dior Miss Dior 2021, the 2021 formulation. So again, it's like basically a tangy floral to me. This is the kind of thing that when I smell it on other people, I'm like, and I smell Miss Dior on people a lot. I smell this and I'm like, it's so pretty. The scent trail is amazing. I feel like the scent trail from this is probably amazing as well. The lasting power kind of average on this. It is an eau de parfum, but it's obviously very affordable. But Miss Cassandra for me, I don't know. There's just something about it that doesn't quite work for me. It doesn't feel like I'm wearing my own perfume. It feels like I've borrowed my girly friend's perfume, if you see what I mean. But the notes in Miss Cassandra: top notes of peony, bergamot and pink pepper, mid notes of iris, powdery notes, rose, and then the base notes are musk, vanilla and white sandalwood. So I'm really tripping over my words today, aren't I, guys? It's because I'm trying to go quickly. I'm going to have to slow my mouth down. I'm just going to get up the notes for the actual Miss Dior just to compare, because the tanginess here we go. This makes more sense because this says bergamot, but the actual Miss Dior has apricot and peach, and I think that is what I struggle with here, because I think the florals are beautiful. It dries down with a little bit of a vanillic sweetness, which is beautiful. It has a warmth, it has a muskiness. But there is a tangy fruitiness here that I don't get on with very well. I would have guessed, I was thinking actually, I was wondering if it was red currant or something, because sometimes I can struggle with that. But I think apricot, that's what it is. If you like Miss Dior though, this is amazing. This is such a good, affordable alternative if you like that. I'm just not really a Miss Dior person. I like a lot of Dior perfumes. You'll see one in a minute, but Miss Dior's never really been the range for me. So yeah, that one I'm going to pass on. What are we putting up next? Okay, I know, obviously, my Mon Guerlain of the week. This week I wore This one, I had a doctor's appointment. I went for Eau de Parfum Florale because I figure this is quite an easygoing, pretty perfume. Nothing challenging in it. Super pretty. Now, the thing is, like, I smell this from the bottle and I'm like, of course I love this. It has that Mon Guerlain general DNA, but it deviates in that it doesn't have the licorice. It has more flowers, and I think maybe less of that kind of yummy lavender and tonka thing that I adore, and quite a bit more vanilla. I love the vanilla I love Guerlain vanilla actually. I think it's gorgeous, but what I always think when this one dries down and I've kind of forgotten what I'm wearing, or when I smell clothes with it after I've worn it, it just reminds me of Lalique Le Parfum. There's something about Lalique Le Parfum that has a similar vanillic feel that Eau de Parfum Florale from Mon Guerlain and actually the EDT. They both have that same kind of feel. So this is one that I'm always like, I probably don't need to have this in my collection, to be honest. And I will consider passing it on just because I could just wear the normal Mon Guerlain and I would love it more than I love this one. This is probably my least favourite of the collection that I have. So I might pass this one on. If you think this looks mad, it's because I did this with some nail varnish actually to differentiate it from the other ones because I didn't have a lid for this because this is a tester bottle. But yeah, so this is a bottle from an EDT and I just painted it up. But yeah, so this is lavender, bergamot, mandarin orange and lemon in the top, mid notes, floral notes, peony, jasmine, sambac, ylang ylang, neroli, peach, lily of the valley, base notes, vanilla, iris and sandalwood. And it is absolutely beautiful. It just doesn't smell as interesting to me as the regular Mon Guerlain or the Mon Guerlain Intense. It doesn't have that kind of interesting hint of extra citrus and caramel that you get in the EDT. And then it just isn't as bright and easy to wear and kind of summery and beautiful as Sparkling Bouquet or Bloom of Rose EDT. And so it's sort of at the bottom of the pile, I think, for me in terms of how much I like this one. And therefore, I am considering that I probably don't need to keep this. It will make space for something else if I get rid of it. But it's not going just yet. I'm just thinking about it at the moment. Let's do... Okay, I have another declutter. So I've got two definite declutters and one possible declutter so far. And then I'm on to things that I'm not getting rid of. But I have a good reason for this. So this is a beautiful perfume. I highly recommend it. This is Herbae by L'Occitane. I wore this week and I just realised, because it is so similar to the other thing that I then put on in the evening once this wore off, it's got a real crossover, lots of crossovers in fact, with this guy, which is my, it's even the same colour, look. This is Brocard, Sense of Nature. This is the tomato leaf and blackcurrant. This was my signature scent for a while. I absolutely love this perfume. It's one of my all-time favourites. Always have it. I have backups. And this is kind of more syrupy. It's got a little bit more of a earthy tone, maybe. This one is kind of fresher and more herbaceously green. This is green in a slightly more earthy way, but they are very, very similar. And I just like this one better. And there is not any point in me keeping something that smells so similar when I could just wear this one. This one does last a little bit longer, but not so much longer that I would prefer it to this. So wearing this just made me want to wear this. And I have lots of this. I've got a partial bottle left at work. I've got this, and then I've got a whole nother bottle. And this is 100ml. So I'm going to pass Herbae on. But it is absolutely beautiful. If you can't get this, then this is the one I'd say. Like, get L'Occitane Herbae. So anyway, so Herbae, bergamot, pink pepper and ambrette in the top. Mid notes of blackberry, nettle blossom, nettles, rose hip and clary sage. Base notes grass, musk, honey, cashmerian, wheat and coumarin. It's beautiful. It is green, it's syrupy, it's fruity. It does have a bit of the herbaceous feel, but this one, like I said, is a little bit more of that kind of grassy, earthy feel. And it's got that ambrette, so there's a little bit muskiness in it. It's absolutely beautiful, and it is a bit aromatic thanks to the sage, which you can smell, but you get a lot of blackberry, you get a lot of rose hip. It's beautiful. This one, this is tomato leaf, blackcurrant, mint, thyme, musk, orange and jasmine. And it's one of my favourite perfumes in my collection. I absolutely love it. This one's in my top 20 for life, so I don't need this one when they are so similar. So yeah, not getting rid of it because I don't like it. Just it's sort of the same as this one, really. They feel a little bit redundant in my collection because I prefer something else that's very similar. So, oh well, I mean, and then this one. Oh God, so good. I made a few shorts. I was testing out to see whether I liked making shorts, but I don't know if I feel like I'm a long form girl myself, not really a short kind of person, but I just did for fun like my top 3. I just put on my top 3 honey, but I made my top 3 vanilla, and this is absolutely my favourite vanilla in my collection. It's my favourite vanilla I've ever smelt. I so love wearing this. I feel so good wearing this. This is Eau Duelle. Unfortunately, it is an expensive perfume, but this is just, it's green, it's a bit sheer, it's sweet vanilla, but in a very transparent and non-gourmand way. It's got bourbon vanilla, elemi resin, juniper, cardamom, pink pepper, olibanum, black tea, bergamot, ambergris, musk and saffron. I feel like it's maybe in that same sort of realm as that really Gypsy Water, that really popular one from by Rado. But this, I just think this is just so much nicer. But it is, I think, that same kind of green vanilla. I need to make a haul because I just got something else that I consider to be a little bit of a green herbaceous vanilla, and I can talk about that because it's much more affordable. Unfortunately, it doesn't smell like this, so it's not a good replacement. But I'm obsessed, and I love how I smell in this. I love how it makes me feel. It's just my favourite vanilla, and this is one of them that genuinely, the love I have for it, I would buy this full price. But this perfume, like none of the other versions of this scent profile smell as good as this. None of them. Even the EDP doesn't smell as good as this EDT. I am obsessed and I love this, and I would pay full price for a bottle of Eau Duelle. And I'm not going to say that about hardly anything. Even with Lush perfumes, half of the time I don't pay the full price. I get them second hand. But this one, I would put money towards. Like, I would put my money where my mouth is here. Sorry, I just went off on one there because I was so obsessed with wearing this again. Like, I can't get enough of this perfume. I adore it. All right, what have we got next? I've got to find spaces to put these now because I'd forgotten how big this bottle is. Let's do... Oh, yeah! Oh, this is so cute. This is another one that I was wearing because I have the original. This is a flanker. They do smell quite similar, so I was like, maybe I can get rid of the flanker and keep the original. I can't. I won't. I'm keeping them both. What a beautiful perfume. This is so beautiful, this perfume. This is Hugo Boss. This is Hugo... Is this called Hugo Woman Extreme, or is it called Hugo Extreme? Oh no, I'm going to have to check. Yeah, it's called Hugo Woman. It doesn't say that on it though. So this is as you can see, the pink one. It's got like the cool pink around the outside. I'm going to try and fit this over here with this huge bottle. So... Hugo Woman Extreme is very similar to the original, but it has more of the bosenberry. So it's got osmanthus, jasmine, black tea, grass, bosenberry. But then it has like that bosenberry note from the original that's way, way stronger. Now the original has definitely more vanilla in the dry down than this one does. This is sweet still, but it's like a tangy floral. But it doesn't list all the woods, and there's definitely sandalwood in this. And actually, interestingly, I wore it this week, and it was really making me think of some of those classic 90s woody perfumes, sort of like Allure and Dune and things like that. Not because it smells old-fashioned like that, but it's like it has a whisper of some of the classics, if you see what I mean, when it dries down. And I feel the same about the original one. I hadn't really thought about it too much, but it definitely did. It occasionally made me think, oh, am I wearing one of those classic perfumes? But then, you know, you get you get the tea and the bosenberry and the kind of slightly green notes in here with that osmanthus, and then it kind of takes it into a whole new realm and a much more modern smell. But I do think this is like one of those perfect for work scents, perfect for like, it's not like it's a massively serious perfume because this is the fruitier version, but it is kind of classic. It kind of smells like a classic signature scent to me. I think it's beautiful. I really loved wearing it. I love wearing the original version as well. I just think these are really good perfumes. Out of all the, I'm trying to think if I have any other Hugo Bosses left. I do quite like the scent for her, but I think overall, these are my favourite Hugo Bosses. I just think they're great. So yeah, loved wearing that. It was super fun. And then, oh, this beauty. I needed something cozy. It was a really cold morning. I wasn't feeling too happy. I was just like, oh, I want to get up and go out. So I went for this beauty. This is actually, let me see, how much have I got left of this? You can't really see because it's dark in the thing, but if I hold it up to my window, I've just got just over half. This was one I bought on eBay, and I've already worn it a few times. I got it quite recently though. Hypnotic Poison. This is the EDT, and this is the modern version of the EDT. I can hand on heart say that I'm one of the weirdos who is glad that this isn't as strong as it used to be, because I don't think I'd be able to wear it if it was as strong as it was. I also have to remember to pull out my La Rive dupe of this one and wear that, because it definitely has a slightly different vanilla in there than it does here. I don't think it's quite as marzipan-y, or as some people would say, I don't think it's as Play-Doh-y. I think it's more of an obvious vanilla, but it is also very pretty, and I like that one too. I imagine that one smells like a slightly weaker version of how this used to smell, because I think La Rive have had that for ages, so it's probably based on the original formulation. But this is just really cozy, and I've kind of got more used to the root beery smell, but it's the dry down of this I really enjoy. It really is so cozy, and it's because it's it's vanilla and woods with almonds, essentially, I think, is what is so comforting about this. So top notes: coconut, plum and apricot. Mid notes: Brazilian rosewood, jasmine and caraway, tuberose, rose and lily of the valley. Base notes: vanilla, almond, sandalwood and musk. And I feel like those base notes, along with that rosewood and, let's be real, the caraway, that is the main thing that I'm getting here. You definitely get jasmine, but I don't find it overwhelming anymore. See, I can really smell this and really like it from the bottle now. I've kind of trained my nose to deal with the root beery spiciness going on here. But that I understand why people love this. That dry down is kind of addictive, and it did make me feel very cozy, and I really enjoyed wearing it. So yeah, the couple of times that I've worn this since I've got it, I've super enjoyed it. So very happy about that. Now I'm going to have to do some squishing up here and some moving around just to fit in my last actual bottle. I'm obsessed with this. I'm obsessed with this, and I love this. I have a little backup of the same size, even though this is really taking me a long time to get through because it has such a gentle sprayer. And when I wear this is Guess Seductive Red. Can you see? I'm like maybe, I think I'm probably, it's bigger at the top than it is at the bottom, so I'm possibly halfway through. This is a 30ml, is it? Yeah, I think it's 30ml, so I'm 15ml through of this. I've worn it a lot. I put so many sprays on, but it's got such a small, gentle sprayer. I wonder if maybe the bigger bottles have a more intense sprayer. Maybe I should try a massive bottle one day and just see how I get on with it. But this is another one where I depart from some other people, because I do understand people got bored of Baccarat Rouge, and I get it, right? But I also get why people are so obsessed with it. It's such a beautiful profile. It's like, it's you know, Francis Kirk de Jeanne, God bless him, I don't like his perfumes nowadays because there's so many modern aroma chemicals. They smell poisonous to me, including, to be fair, Baccarat Rouge. But I can recognise the scent profile from that. And, I mean, it's just genius level perfumery. Like, that he created a whole new profile and everyone has ripped it off. So I got sick of it, but I've come back to it because I don't smell it as much as I used to. And I absolutely love this version of that profile because it's cherry and almond. And it is just... it's perfume crack. I get it, man, and I get why people are so obsessed with Cloud. I understand why men like this smell, and why they loved Cloud, and why they like BR 540, and why they like all the Zara dupes, why they like all the... I mean, I think I smelt one from Miller Harris a while back that actually smells like Baccarat Rouge. Every house has ripped off Baccarat Rouge. And so I think really, if you like that profile, which a lot of people do, it's just about finding the right one for you. Most of them still smell like chemicals to me. This one doesn't. This smells like a Mr. Kipling called a Bakewell tart. It smells like white icing and frangipane. And is it called frangipane or frangipani? You know, the almond paste, the patisserie one. And delicious cherry jam. Like, that's what I'm getting from this. And I'm getting a little hint of violet and a little hint of cherry blossom. I mean, that's the notes. I'm just reading out the notes now. So it's cherry, almond and pink pepper in the top, cherry blossom, magnolia, violet in the mid. I don't really smell the magnolia, vanilla, tonka bean and sandalwood in the base, but it has that kind of candy flossy sweetness that is so addictive from BR 540. And the other thing I wanted to say about this actually is this is lasting a bit better the longer I've had it, but I sprayed this on my clothes and my clothes still smell like this now. So if you find this one doesn't last very long, make sure you get it on your clothes because it lasts forever on my clothes. And I kind of want to wear this all the time. I feel like Mon Guerlain, Eau Duelle, Seductive Red, they're my current obsessions really and what I want to wear all the time. Absolutely lush. So, and then I wore one of the samples that Roxy sent me. So I tried Akro Glow. So Acro Glow, I don't like Acro perfumes, the ones that I smell. Again, aromachemistically, I don't really get from them what I think other people are getting from them. But this particular one, I can smell this, and I do think it smells good. The notes are top notes of pink pepper, mid notes incense, base notes vanilla and amber. I wondered if this was going to smell like baby cat, but actually, I think when I was testing this out at first, I was like, it reminds me of something. Is it Eau Duelle? Is it baby cat? There is definitely that incensey, slight vanilla-y smell, but this smells fruity to me. And then at first I was like, oh yeah, maybe Spiritus Double Vanille from Guerlain. Definitely a little bit of that. But more so, Gloria from Cacharel. And you can get a really good dupe of that from Perfume Parlor UK. I have a little sample of that one and I really enjoy wearing it. This, if you can imagine that, Gloria, mixed with a little bit more of the kind of Lalique Le Parfum style vanilla, then that's what Acro Glow smells like. Again, like, it's so rare that I smell... That's what I'm saying about, like, this and the original BR 540. It was so original when it came out, obviously. This doesn't smell... This smells like loads of other things. Like, I smell loads of things that smell like Cacharel's, Gloria, and loads of things that smell a bit like Spiritus Double Vanille. Loads of stuff that smells like Eau Duelle now. Like, you know, it's really nice, but... There's other options, you know, there's loads of other options, in fact, of getting something that smells like this, but it is pretty. There. Now, if you're someone who doesn't like me talking without showing bottles and stuff, then you can fly away here, but I did go and smell so much stuff because I can't even remember what I was doing. I had a night to myself and I had to get off the bus like near John Lewis. So I was like, before I go home, I'm going to go and have some sniffs of some things. I specifically went in there to smell a couple of the Chanel, are they called exclusives? Les exclusive lines. The ones that I didn't necessarily smell when I went in last time I was testing them out. And then I ended up getting sidetracked and smelling loads of other things. So I'm going to start though. Where am I going to start? Let's see. What have I got in my list? Oh, well, let's get this one out of the way. Ombre Narguilé from Hermes. I can still kind of get a little bit of a hint of something on here. So when I first sprayed Ombre Narguilé, I was like, it smells much tartar than I was expecting it to smell. But it also dried down to smell kind of like a cinnamony, boozy apple pie. So the notes in this are cinnamon, honey, rum, caramel, vanilla, tonka bean, benzoin, tobacco, ladon and coumarin, sesame musk and white orchid. I know this one gets compared to the Kilian one that I can literally never for some reason remember the name of. Is it Angel Share? Is it Angel Share? The one that everyone loves at like Christmas and, you know, Thanksgiving and stuff. It does smell a bit like that, but I think it's not as syrupy and thick, not as sweet. Dries down into something that to me smells a little bit more masculine, so I think you're getting more of that sesame and tobacco. I'd say that the rum here, it smells more like Calvados to me. Like, it smells like apple brandy. I think that's where it's getting a sourness from. I was totally expecting when I looked at this for it to be apple brandy. I was surprised that it was rum. But yeah, it's definitely got that kind of apple pie smell. I don't love it. I just wanted to smell it because it's so expensive. Like, it's really... I was very surprised by how expensive this perfume is. It's like over £200, I think, for a bottle. I was like, whoa now, come on. That's crazy times. And then let's go down to... All right, let's do... Oh, guys, I smelt some Parfums de Marly. I've smelt them before. Mainly I've, smelt Delina, let's be real, and all the copies of Delina. But I went to have a little sniff of the ones I haven't smelt before. So, let's have a look. I've made notes. Let's start with, let's see, what have I written here? I wrote that I don't normally try to bother with them because they're so expensive, which is fine. And they have a lot of aroma chemicals, which is often true. Okay, so... Oh, I spelt Valaya. I haven't sprayed it because I sniffed it from the bottle and it was truly pure tar. Like absolute pure tar. I hated it. But I have no idea how it's supposed to smell, but I'll read you the notes. Aldehydes, white peach, bergamot, mandarin. Then the mid notes are orange blossom, petalia, lily of the valley, and something called nymphial. Then vetiver and mahonial. Base notes, musk, ambroxan, akigala wood and vanilla. Yeah, pure tart. So that one I didn't even spray out because I wanted it nowhere near me. This one, Palatine. I can still smell this one a little bit. It's smelling a bit body lotiony now, actually, which I didn't get at first. But so the Palatine, top notes of pear, bergamot, mandarin, mid notes, violet, floral, bouquet and lavender. Base notes, musk, sandalwood, vanilla and patchouli. So I wrote, Palatine's kind of sweet, gentle, pretty, girly, soft, easygoing. Not the kind of thing I would expect to cost £300, but it's pretty and it's inoffensive. It's very feminine. I wrote that I thought there was probably some kind of iris in it and a little bit of violet, but it's not particularly violety, but I really like the bottle. Yeah, I think really like it's like a hint of violet, and I don't think it hasn't got iris in it, has it? No. Lavender. I mean, it does have a slightly purpley smell, but honestly, it's incredibly kind of light. I mean, it's pretty, but I don't know. I didn't think it was very special, so I wasn't really bothered about that one. Then we've got Cassandra. Please ignore my spellings because I was just jotting things down and not paying much attention. I can still smell a bit of this one. So Cassandra, love the bottle. Gorgeous coloured bottle. It's kind of like a pastel peachy colour. Really, really beautiful. Top notes, red currant, floral notes, Bulgarian rose. Mid notes, plum, frangipani, petalia, mimosa. Base notes, vanilla, tonka bean and sandalwood. I wrote, has a sourness I don't enjoy. Wondering if this is some kind of peachy scent. I thought it was kind of creamy at first, but then it's become a little bit sharp, sour and slightly screechy. I'm very sure this would give me a headache, but it's quite fruity and has a beautiful bottle. Yeah, there's something, maybe it's ambroxan or something, I don't know. There's something in here that's like piercing me in the eyeball, but the background of it is kind of a pretty, slightly peachy smelling floral scent. I'm interested because it's like, it doesn't actually have peach then, but red currant and plum. Yeah, it's definitely a bit fruity. But yeah, so it's alright. Not mad for that. But there was one I really liked, which now kind of just has a slight vanillic sweet smell. and a bottle that I feel doesn't really match it. So Saffronade, top notes pear and orange, middle notes orange blossom, ylang ylang and iris, base notes vanilla, amber and sandalwood. So I will read you what I wrote. This is by far the best of all the perfumes I smell at the Parfums de Marly counter, and that is probably because it really strongly reminds me of something in my collection, which is a perfume that I really like. It has a profile that's very similar to Jean Paul Gaultier Classique. More specifically, it's similar in sweetness and tone, general profile to the Eau de Parfum version of the Classique, which I have. The magic of Saffronade is that it has a banana-like ylang ylang in here. That note doesn't last very, very long, but it opens up really beautifully, and I really liked it a lot. I think this is compared more to the original Classique EDT, and I think it probably is like a mashup of the EDT's orange blossom and jasmine profile, but with more of the syrupy sweetness and slight creaminess of the EDP. But then add in a nice dose of banana ylang. I'd happily wear this one, but it is, of course, far too expensive to smell so similar to Classique. and I, to be honest, the way that this smells, I feel like the bottle that Cassandra was in would have really suited the way that this came across to me. Like sweet, floral, pretty, girly, with this kind of, I don't know, like sexy, wear it when you're naked kind of quality to it that Classique gives me. But yeah, it went through phases. It started off ylang and a bit banana-y and kind of sweet and really beautiful with that general Classique EDP smell. Then it went a little bit more screechy when all of the white florals came out. And then it smelled a bit more like actual Classique. And then the more it dried down, the more you got a bit more of that vanilla and it got a little bit less kind of screechy. So, because the original Classique is a little bit too green, a little bit too orange blossom neroli, kind of bitter for me. I don't love the original. It's very soapy. This one's a little bit less soapy. It's like, but yeah, just, I mean, honestly, just get one of the Classiques. Just save your money and get one of the Classiques. It's beautiful, but it's not beautiful enough for like £300. So anyway, Chanel. I went to smell 1957 because I wanted to smell the kind of musky one. Beautiful. I mean, of course. Oh God. All right. So 1957. Let's see. Top notes, white musk, aldehydes, bergamot, pink pepper and coriander. Middle notes are white musk, orange blossom, jasmine. Base notes, white musk, orris, cashmere, cedar, honey and vanilla. And I just wrote, it smells like Chanel. It's like the musky base from number 5 line, and I definitely wear it. It's lovely. But for the price, you could get a similar experience wearing number 5 Le Eau, which is much more affordable than the Les Exclusives line. Yeah, I stand by what I said. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a gorgeous, yummy Chanel musk. But like a crisp, light, white musk rather than a kind of more warm musk that you get in Chanel number 5. But it genuinely isn't a million miles away from number 5 Le Eau. So I just, just get that one. It's much more affordable. Beautiful though. I mean, if you can afford it, it's lovely. But 1932, I tried as well. Yeah, let's see. So 1932, top notes, aldehydes, neroli and bergamot, mid notes, lilac, jasmine, ylang ylang, rose and carnation, base notes, orris root, musk ambrette, musk mallow, vetiver, sandalwood, opoponox, vanilla, coumarin and incense. So many notes considering I can't smell this. I wrote, it disappeared. Well, I mean, again, it's not like a Chanel. The Chanel really smells like Chanel. Their house DNA is so strong and so specific. I said it disappeared so quickly I can't remember what it smelled like. It literally could have only lasted for an hour because it became invisible by the time I got home. So, and it's probably £300. So no, I don't know what that one smelled like. So, oh, I can still smell this one. This is a good one. Damn it. Oh, number 22. So Chanel Les Exclusive number 22. If I was rich, I would have this one for sure, but I'm not and I don't need it. Number 22. Top notes, lily of the valley, neroli and aldehydes, tender heart of oriental jasmine, rose and ylang ylang from Comoro Islands, deepened by the notes of the bay, Haiti, vetiver and bourbon vanilla. I wrote, well, this is a delight. Again, obviously Chanel, and in the same realm as number 5. But softer, sweeter, fluffier. It's like a hint of number 5 and then sweet baby powder. aldehydic but in a fluffy way as opposed to bubbly way. I would absolutely wear this. Oddly nostalgic because of the baby powder vibes. I suspect that if I wore my Demeter baby powder with number 5 La Eau, I'd get something a bit like this. I love it. I love it. It's Lush, and I would totally wear the hell out of this. It's beautiful. It really is like a baby powdery version of something like number 5, and I love it. Yeah, number 22 is an absolute winner, but it's not a winner in terms of how ridiculously expensive it is, so I'm blatantly never going to have this in my collection, but it's amazing, and I love it. Yeah, that's my favourite that I've smelt from that collection. And then I just wanted to remind myself of Gabrielle. So Gabrielle, top notes: mandarin, grapefruit, blackcurrant, heart tuberose, ylang ylang, jasmine, orange blossom base, sandalwood and musk. I said pretty floral with some tangy fruits. I find it a bit sharp. It's the same realm as J'adore, except it's not as screechy and headache inducing as that one. I imagine it smells lovely on skin. Yeah, it's pretty. It's not really my kind of thing, but it is pretty. And then Gabrielle Essence. Top notes: citruses, peach, red fruits, blackcurrant and petitgrain. Middle notes: white flowers, tuberose, ylang ylang, jasmine, orange blossom and coconut. Base notes are musk, sandalwood and vanilla. Softer and not as tangy or sharp. I'd say that it's probably a bit more wearable than the original. I'd like to try this on my skin one day just to see what it's like, purely because I often see partial bottles of this on eBay. So yeah, I much prefer the Essence. I think it's kind of just softer, creamier, a little bit sweeter. It's nicer. But yeah, it's pretty, that one. I think that would smell really beautiful on someone in spring, like really pretty. So the last things I'm going to talk about, I walked past and House of Fraser had the Prada Infusion line, which I've always wanted to smell and I've never got my nose on. So I didn't spray them all out though, because by that point, all the scents were going to get mixed up. I only have so many pockets in my outfits and so many parts of my bag, to take these strips home with me. So I just smelt them from the bottles, but I made notes anyway. So the Prada Infusion line, the rose is Turkish and Bulgarian rose, Italian mandarin, peppery mint, Brazilian mate, honeycomb from Laos. Fresh rose petals mingling with tea roses and honey, crushed in the hand with mint leaves. That's the description from, I think, the website. I wrote, this is actually such a lovely take on a fresh rose water. It's not screechy or sharp. It made me think of Stella a little bit. Imagine a summer version of the Stella McCartney rose note. So I'm not saying that this is a replacement for Stella. I'm definitely not saying that. What I'm saying is I'm really fussy about rose, and I really only have a few rose perfumes in my collection. I have 2 that are kind of fruity or vanillic or whatever, and then I have Stella. I don't have any other kind of pure rose perfumes. But this one, I was like, this smells nice enough to me that I would totally try this on my skin, and it's the kind of rose that I would be able to wear. So it just smells a little bit like a beautiful rose water. It's very pretty. I was surprised by how pretty it was. And then the orange flower. So Prada Infusions, the orange, I can't even remember what it's called, but it's basically orange. They're orange blossom. Top notes: neroli and mandarin orange. Mid notes: orange blossom, jasmine, tuberose. Base notes: powdery notes and serenaloid. I don't know what that is. I just wrote, I actually can't believe how much I like this from the cap. It's basically a perfect holiday style orange blossom, but it's lacking the bitterness I normally have to endure to get through to a creamy floral. Not too sweet, not too sharp, not too lotiony, actually a perfect orange blossom. And I don't love orange blossom a lot of the time, so I was, again, really surprised by how beautiful that smelled. Ylang. Top notes: bergamot, cardamom. Mid note: ylang ylang. Base note: sandalwood. I wrote fruity feeling, sheer ylang. Reminds me to the kind of ylang you've got in Diptyque Eau Duelle. Yeah, that was really beautiful again. These are like such nice spring summer perfumes. I'm surprised because Prada, I'm normally a bit like, whatever. Iris. The Prada Infusion to Iris. Top notes: African orange flower, neroli orange and mandarin orange. Mid notes are iris, galbanum, mastic and lentisk. I don't know what that is. Base notes, Virginia cedar, incense, and benzoin and vetiver. I wrote, beautiful, what a lovely iris, not as melancholy as some iris perfumes are, and I'm sure there are other notes making this lovely. So yeah, I could tell that there was something other than iris in it, but yeah, I don't think I'd have guessed at how much stuff is in there, but it's a very pretty iris, it really is lovely. Almond. So this is the one that I specifically wanted to smell. Infusion de almond, bergamot, what does this say? Almond infused with bergamot water, anisic notes, so I guess like aniseed, and spicy floral are the heart notes, tonka bean for the base notes, citrus and bitter almond, top notes, a pretty skin scent. All right, a bit powdery and sweet. You can definitely get something that feels similar, aka Jeanne en Provence, for instance. So their Armandier perfume that I have, it's very kind of in that neck of the woods. In fact, I would say that the infusions to iris and the infusion to almond, those two together kind of create something I'd say that smells a little bit like the Jeanne en Provence almond. But I really liked it. I thought it was lovely. And then last but not least, well, it sort of was least because I didn't love it, but I actually made a note about it. Rhubarb. I wrote, oof. Top note, green mandarin. Middle note, rhubarb. Base notes, aldehyde, citrus musk, and white musk. Now, this sounds up my street. But what I said is they really did nail the unusual scent that real rhubarb has. It's tart and sweet, but it's very green and vegetal. And I didn't like it on first sniff, but I did want to keep smelling it. So it's an interesting one that at first to me suggests it's not particularly wearable. But I would also be interested to smell this on my skin and just know how that developed and what it smelled like, because yeah, it's kind of off. And I find that with rhubarb. Rhubarb, both the taste and the smell can at first be a little bit off-putting. It's a bit of a weird smell. But then it's kind of also delicious. Like sometimes, sometimes it's just super tasty. So I don't know. Like I really liked a lot of the stuff from their line. I did sniff the vanilla one quickly and I wasn't keen on that. What else did I sniff from there? They had a couple that I kind of picked up and sniffed and was just like, meh. I think they've got a cedar one, have they? And maybe they had like a citrusy one. I can't remember. But those were the ones that I thought were interesting or nice enough that I wanted to make notes on them. But yeah, oh my God, that infusion line's really nice. I think it's such a shame they don't do a proper discovery set of those perfumes, because I'd love to actually test those out. Sometimes I see those on eBay as well, and I think full price they're not like really affordable, but they're not like Parfums de Marly prices. So yeah, anyway, I was really surprised by how much I liked those. I can see why some of those are getting, are quite popular. Anyway, right, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to go. I hope you've all had a nice week. I've talked about so much today. Let me know your feelings about everything I've talked about, if you've smelt them as well. Let me know if you have any of the Prada line, the infusion line. And let me know if you have any of these and how you feel about them. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble on for like 45 minutes. If you enjoy my channel and my videos, please do consider subscribing. Those of you who are already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting me. It means the world. I've got some cool stuff coming up, so I hope you enjoy it. I'm tired. It's Sunday and I am tired and I can't believe I've got to go back to work tomorrow. But anyway, I hope you all have a nice week and I will see you next Sunday. Bye, guys.